Hi, guys. So we're talking about our favorite, favorite group of people, Sweet Baby Inc. And, you know, how they seem to be involved in pretty much everything in the gaming world now. Sweet Baby Inc. allegedly linked to secret indie game funding network. Report alleges hidden ties between Landfall Games, Wings Interactive, and SBI. This is where you get like that meme of like, you have the board and he's like, um, it's all connected. A recent report by Gothic Therapy, about Hope Master of the TDS and Writing Raven, suggests that indie gaming may be influenced by a network of companies working from behind the scenes. According to their investigation, Landfall Games, known for titles like Totally Accurate Battle Simulator and Content Warning, is allegedly connected to Wings Interactive, a funding group that claims to support indie developers from marginalized backgrounds. The report also links Sweet Baby Inc., a controversial consulting firm, to this network. How about just make a good game? Like, you should not be pushing anyone else, into the marginalized backgrounds. You make a good game, people will play it, they'll talk about it. Simple as that. Simple as that. When you have, if you're a marginalized indie developer, why don't you reach out to some big YouTubers? Get them to play your game. There you go. There you go. Or Jacksepticeye or whoever can do a lot more for these fucking people than these groups can. So marginalized groups. So basically anyone who isn't white or straight or male. The full report can be seen here. Full disclosure, yeah, we know. Writing Raven. The allegations against Wings Interactive. Oh boy. Gothic Therapy alleges that Wings Interactive is not an independent funding group, but rather a front for Landfall Games. While Wings presents itself as an initiative supporting underrepresented developers, Master of the TDS and Writing Raven claim that this is actually controlled and funded by Landfall. They cite the source showing that Wings operates under the legal name Vingar Interactiva, Interactiva AB in Sweden, and is registered as the same address as Landfall Games. Interesting. That's not just a coincidence. That's a cover-up. Master of the TDS stated in the video. They further claim that multiple companies, all linked to Landfall Games, are registered at this address, suggesting that a broader business structure hidden from public view. According to their findings, Wings Interactive shares board members with Landfall Games, including Peak Henriksen, the co-founder of Landfall, who is also listed as Wings Vice CEO. He, her, what? I don't see any they, thems. This place is fucking bigoted and it needs to be shut down. There's not enough they, thems. Interestingly, the video notes that Henriksen does not publicly list his roles of Wings on LinkedIn. Another figure identified is Christine Lee, who serves on Wings selection committee and also has ties to Landfall Games. Based on their investigation, Gothic Therapy claims that Wings Interactive functions as a shadow publisher, allowing Landfall to fund and control indie game development without publicly attaching its names to its projects. The host suggests that large companies have historically used similar tactics, creating supposedly independent brands to avoid scrutiny while exerting influence behind the scenes. Here we go. Sweet Baby Inc. One of the most intriguing elements of this report is that the alleged connection between Wings Interactive and Sweet Baby Inc., a consulting firm known for advising major gaming companies on narrative development. Gothic Therapy highlights that Kim Blair, CEO and co-founder of Sweet Baby Inc., previously served on Wings Interactive Selection Board. And the plot thickens, doesn't it? Wings. Meet Wings Selection Committee Kim Blair. Kim, aka Bagel of Death, is a co-founder and CEO of Sweet Baby Inc., a black and queer-owned indie plus AAA narrative development company that also works to support black game hashtag game dev teams across disciplines. I've also been on the okay, this is Belair. I've also been on the advisory board of a few funding bodies, including the Wings Fund, which specializes in grants for women and marginalized people working in games and funding projects that come to us through there. Now, what I was saying before about, YouTubers, like big YouTubers, if you want your game seen, yeah, obviously that's one way to do it. But if we're going to be if we're talking about like getting your games made, focus on something simple. You see someone like Toby Fox, Scott Cawthon, all these people who started these games. They didn't have a lot of money. Look at Scott Cawthon. It was a one-man project. The beta testers were his sons, and he came up with Five Nights at Freddy's, and look what Five Nights at Freddy's has become. You don't need a lot of money to start a game. It's just passion and time. If people enjoy it, put it on Steam, ask some YouTubers to play it. If they like it, they like it. And guess what? People are going to buy it. You'll get a lot more money. You'll be more successful. Do not partner with people who really don't have your best interest at heart. Because especially if they're going to have, if you're still working on the game and they're going to have creative control, oh, well, we think this character should be. No, they're going to ruin the game. No one's going to buy it. And then you're going to give up on your dream of making games. It's not worth it. Just don't freaking trust these people. They do not care. Industry funding and Riot Games involvement. Oh boy, Riot Games. Toward the end of the video, Gothic Therapy presents another It's dark and cold and rainy out, so another surprising discovery. According to Master of TDS, Riot Games contributed $1 million to Wings Interactive in 2021 to support diverse teams. Master of the TDS and Writing Raven imply that this could indicate broader industry involvement in Wings operation, though they stopped short of making definitive claims about Riot's role. While these findings are based on public records and official documents, Gothic Therapy acknowledges that more investigation is needed to determine the full extent of these connections. As they state at the end of their report, this isn't just a couple of companies working together by coincidence. This is a hidden network controlling indie gaming from the shadows. From the shadows. For now, these claims remain allegations, and neither Landfall Games, Wings Interactive, nor Sweet Baby Inc. Of course they're not. Of course they're not. They're not going to respond. Come on. Come on. You know better. The indie game scene has always been full of corruption. The International Game Developers Association had control over indie game awards and which ones to push forward and promote. The Riot Games connection here is interesting. They're owned by the CCP, and then funding woke garbage as a cultural bomb makes sense. So these are people who, again, they don't have your best interest at heart. These people say that they're going at, about equality and this and that. But you're actively discriminating against people. Like I said, if you've already made a game, like, oh, hey, I just made this game. Talk to YouTubers, see if they want to play, have them play the game, have it on Steam or whatever. And if it's a success, then it's a success. Obviously, having these people help you is not going to make your game a success, especially if you're an indie development team or you're just an indie developer and you're like one person, they're not going to make your game a success. In fact, Sweet Baby Inc., every project they've touched has turned to shit. Every time these people work with a studio, that studio has to have layoffs and they close down other studios because these people are losing them money. So you do not want to work with people who are going to lose you money. Seriously, if you have a game that's completed already, just have YouTubers do it and put it on Steam and ask YouTubers if they want to play it. If you're trying to make a game, if it doesn't have to be the best looking, it doesn't. Again, look at Scott Cawthon. Perfect example. Simplistic game. It was just him. It didn't really cost any money for him to make. So sometimes you into it instead if you don't have money, because they're not going to make you a success. They haven't made anyone a success. Every game these like Sweet Baby has touched has just crumbled. Just look at 2024. Everything they touched turned to shit. Studios, every studio they worked with had layoffs. Between 50 to 100, 200 people all laid off because they lost money because they wanted to make crappy ass freaking games. So if you're an indie gamer or indie developer, don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not fucking worth it. Along with any of these other companies, it was like, oh, well, if you're marginalized, we'll put your voice out there and let you be heard. Don't. Just don't. YouTubers will definitely have a bigger reach. Again, Markiplier is someone who could probably do more for you than any one of these freaking companies could. So, but what do I know? You want to have your dreams crushed of becoming an indie developer because you're putting your faith in the wrong people? If that's what tickles your pickle, go ahead. Go ahead. Anyway, that's going to do for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.